everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a deep dive into PPC in 2024.
Sounds good.
And to kind of help guide us, we've got the AIPA State of PPC report.
Excellent.
This surveyed over 1,100 PPC professionals globally.
Wow.
So I think it's really got some good insights, about what's really happening out there.
Yeah, it's like having that backstage pass to the world of paid advertising.
Yeah.
You get to, like you said, see what's really working, what's not working, and where things are headed.
Exactly. And, I've got to say there are some juicy takeaways in here.
Absolutely.
For example, is all this AI and automation actually making PPC easier to manage?
Right.
The answer might surprise you.
Yeah.
We'll also uncover the biggest struggles that agencies are facing right now.
For sure.
And trust me, it's not what you might expect.
Yeah, the real story that emerges from this report is all about efficient growth.
Okay.
It's not enough to just throw money at ads anymore.
Right.
The key is to maximize your returns while navigating an increasingly complex digital landscape.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's paint a picture of who is shaping the PPC landscape.
Okay.
What can you tell us about the people behind the responses in this report?
Well, it turns out 75% of the respondents are agencies and freelancers.
Oh, wow.
Meaning that they're managing PPC for clients,
Right.
not their own brands.
Okay, so most of these folks are juggling multiple account strategies and client expectations.
Right.
That sounds like a challenge in itself.
It definitely adds a layer of complexity.
Yeah.
The remaining 20% are in-house teams working directly for their companies.
Okay.
And here's a fascinating tidbit.
Okay.
Agency teams are on average 3 times bigger than in-house teams.
Wow, 3 times bigger.
Yeah,
It's a pretty significant difference.
it is.
What do you think that says about how these two groups approach PPC?
It could reflect the variety of clients and campaigns that agencies handle. They need larger teams to cover a broader range of skills and industries.
Yeah, that makes sense.
On the other hand, in-house teams can focus their expertise on a single brand
You're right.
and dive really deep into their specific data and goals.
Makes sense. All right, so let's talk about where all those advertising dollars are actually going.
Okay.
I'm guessing Google is still the dominant force?
Absolutely. 98% of respondents are running campaigns on Google.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean it's a one-size-fits-all situation.
Right.
There's a ton of variation in platform adoption.
Sure.
Depending on where you are in the world and how much you're spending each month.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for us. What kind of geographic differences are we talking about?
Well, Microsoft advertising isn't as popular in the Middle East, which might surprise some people.
Huh, interesting.
Amazon ads, on the other hand, are a much bigger deal in North America,
Right.
likely reflecting the dominance of e-commerce there.
Yeah, it's fascinating how different regions gravitate towards different platforms. Is that also tied to how much they're spending?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For those spending under $50,000 a month on ads,
Okay.
it's primarily a Google Meta world.
Okay.
But cross that $500,000 threshold and you start to see Microsoft, TikTok, and Apple Search enter the mix.
So the bigger budgets open up a wider range of options.
They do.
What about those high rollers spending over $3 million a month?
Right.
Are they sticking to the usual suspects or branching out even further?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
We see platforms like Pinterest, Amazon,
Uh-huh.
Twitter, Reddit, Quora, and even Baidu being utilized.
Wow, it's like a buffet of advertising platforms.
It is.
What do you think is driving this trend of diversification among big spenders?
I think it reflects a shift towards more targeted advertising.
Okay.
Smaller budgets might stick with the giants for broader reach,
Right.
while larger budgets can afford to experiment with more niche platforms to reach very specific audiences.
Makes sense.
They're looking for those hidden pockets of potential customers.
Okay, so we've got a good grasp on who's running the show and where they're putting their money.
Right.
Now let's dive into the goals and aspirations of these PPC professionals.
Yep.
What are they aiming for in 2024?
Well, to understand their priorities,
Yeah.
we need to first zoom out and look at the global ad spending trends.
Okay.
Get this. Social media ad spending is projected to match paid search ad spending
Oh, wow.
by the end of 2024.
Whoa, that's huge. We all knew social media was a powerhouse,
For sure.
but to rival search,
Right.
that speaks volumes about where consumer attention is going.
It really does.
Yeah.
Younger generations are practically living on social media.
Right.
Discovering brands, researching products, and making purchases the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
It's becoming less about actively searching for information
Yeah.
and more about encountering it organically within their social feeds.
So with that context in mind, what are PPC professionals themselves focusing on in 2024?
Interestingly, despite this seismic shift towards social, the report's word cloud of top priorities
Okay.
still puts AI and automation front and center.
Not too surprising, given all the buzz around AI lately.
Right.
But it sounds like there's more to the story than just jumping on the AI bandwagon.
Exactly. Campaign performance is, of course, always a top priority.
Right.
But what's particularly interesting is the emphasis on personal development.
Okay.
PPC pros are recognizing that they need to level up their skills and knowledge to thrive in this evolving landscape.
So it's not just about mastering the tools, it's about continuously learning and adapting to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
Speaking of adapting, I imagine measurement is becoming even more complex.
Absolutely.
With the ongoing changes in data privacy and cookie deprecation.
It's a whole new world of attribution and measurement.
Right.
So we see this interesting trifecta of priorities.
Okay.
AI, personal development, and measurement.
Okay.
All intertwined PPC professionals are realizing that to succeed in 2024 and beyond, they need to not only embrace new technologies, but also develop their skills and adapt their strategies to measure success in this new era of data privacy.
Okay, so earlier we teased this question about whether all this fancy technology is actually making PPC easier to manage.
Yeah.
What's the verdict?
Well, the report reveals a somewhat counterintuitive finding.
Okay.
Nearly half of the respondents said managing PPC has actually gotten harder,
Harder?
despite the automation.
I thought all this automation was supposed to be making our lives easier. What gives?
It seems like the tools designed to streamline things are actually introducing new complexities.
Okay.
One of the biggest culprits is decreased insights.
Okay.
Google and other platforms are hiding more data,
Right.
creating these black box campaign types
Yeah.
where it's not always clear what's driving performance.
So imagine trying to optimize a campaign when you can't fully see what's working and what's not.
Right.
That sounds incredibly frustrating.
It definitely adds a layer of difficulty. And it's not just about the lack of transparency.
Okay.
We're also seeing decreased control, right? As automated bidding and campaigns like Performance Max take over.
Right.
While these tools can be great for efficiency,
Yeah.
they also take away some of the granular control that specialists are used to.
It's like a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
You gain efficiency but lose some of the fine-tuning capabilities.
Exactly.
What other challenges are contributing to the sense that PPC is getting harder?
Well, increased competition is definitely playing a role.
Okay.
More businesses are advertising online,
Right.
which inevitably drives up costs and makes it harder to stand out.
Classic supply and demand, right? More businesses vying for those ad placements means higher prices.
Exactly.
It makes sense economically, but it's definitely a headache for the people managing those budgets.
Exactly. And then, of course, we have the ongoing tracking headaches
Yeah.
caused by privacy changes, cookie deprecation, and increasingly complex attribution models.
Right.
It's becoming more and more challenging to accurately measure the impact of your campaigns.
It sounds like PPC professionals are caught in a bit of a paradox.
They are.
The tools are evolving rapidly,
Yeah,
but so are the challenges.
precisely. And that brings us back to why AI, personal development, and measurement are such prominent themes in the report. PPC professionals are feeling the pressure to adapt their skills, embrace new technologies, and become masters of measurement.
Right.
All while navigating a landscape that seems to be getting more complex by the day.
It sounds like succeeding in PPC in 2024 requires a whole new level of agility and expertise.
It does.
Now we know that a significant portion of our respondents are managing PPC for clients.
Right.
So let's shift gears and talk about the agency-client dynamic.
Okay.
What's the biggest hurdle agencies are facing when it comes to keeping their clients happy?
Drumroll, please. It's expectation management.
Okay.
Agencies are really struggling to meet or even fully grasp what their clients actually want.
I can imagine that's a recipe for disaster.
It can be.
Clients may not be well-versed in the nuances of PPC,
Right.
leading to unrealistic expectations about results or timelines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that lack of understanding can snowball into a whole host of other challenges,
Yeah.
including client education, communication breakdowns, and, of course, budget disputes.
Ah, yes. The classic trifecta of agency woes.
It is.
The report also delves into the different pricing models agencies are using.
That's right.
Any interesting trends emerging in that area?
What's fascinating is that the traditional billable hours model might be on its way out.
Really? Why is that? I always thought billable hours were the gold standard for agencies.
It makes sense in theory,
Right.
but with AI and automation streamlining so many tasks,
Yeah.
agencies risk earning less if they're charging by the hour.
Oh.
This creates a strange incentive for agencies to resist adopting new technologies,
Oh, wow.
which ultimately hurts everyone in the long run.
That's a great point. Punishing efficiency seems counterproductive.
It does.
So what's the solution? Are agencies moving away from billable hours altogether?
Many savvy agencies are indeed shifting to value-based pricing or subscription models
Okay.
that focus on the outcomes they deliver,
Right.
not just the time spent.
So instead of charging for their time, they're charging for results.
Exactly.
That seems like a much more aligned approach.
It is.
Okay, let's circle back to Google Ads for a moment.
Right.
It's still the biggest game in town.
It is.
So understanding the latest trends there is crucial.
For sure.
What can you tell us about the adoption rates of different Google Ads features?
There are some interesting findings here.
Yeah.
First, exact match keywords are still hugely popular.
I guess some things never go out of style.
They don't.
What about Performance Max?
Okay.
That's Google's big push these days.
Right.
Is it living up to the hype?
Performance Max, particularly campaigns utilizing product feeds,
Okay.
are actually being used more than standard shopping campaigns.
Interesting.
But there's a lot of variation in how it's being implemented.
Okay.
Some advertisers are using it as intended for a full funnel approach,
Right.
while others are basically using it as a replacement for smart shopping.
So there's some experimentation happening with how people are integrating Performance Max into their strategies.
Definitely.
Interesting. What about bidding strategies?
Oh,
Is manual bidding still a thing, or are most people embracing automation?
automated bidding is the clear frontrunner,
Okay.
with TROAS and TCPA dominating the scene.
Gotcha.
Manual bidding seems to be fading fast.
But just because a feature is popular doesn't necessarily mean people are happy with it.
Right.
What do the satisfaction scores tell us?
Ah, that's where it gets really intriguing.
Hmm.
Classic features like the Google Ads editor,
Uh-huh.
custom columns and scripts are all scoring high on the satisfaction scale.
Makes sense.
People love that level of control and customization they offer.
It makes sense. Having those familiar tools provides a sense of stability in a landscape that's constantly changing.
It does.
What about those auto-applied recommendations that Google is always pushing?
Yeah.
Are they getting any love?
Not so much. A whopping 79% of respondents said they rarely or never use them.
Ouch. That's a pretty clear message that those recommendations aren't hitting the mark.
It is.
Why do you think that is?
It could be a lack of trust or perceived value in Google's automated suggestions.
Yeah.
Or maybe PPC pros just don't want to feel like robots are doing their job for them.
It's like they're saying, thanks, Google, but I'll take it from here.
Right.
All right, so now let's tackle the elephant in the room, AI.
Okay.
We know it's the hot topic everyone's talking about,
Right.
but is it actually living up to the hype in the PPC world?
That's the million-dollar question. And the survey reveals a surprising truth,
Okay.
despite all the buzz. Generative AI isn't fully mainstream in PPC just yet,
Okay.
but things are changing fast.
So it's still early days, but adoption is definitely accelerating.
Yeah.
What are people actually using AI for in their PPC workflows right now?
The top 3 uses are writing ads,
Okay.
keyword research,
Uh-huh.
and crafting emails.
Okay.
These are all tasks that can benefit from AI's ability to generate text quickly and efficiently.
Makes sense, but are people happy with the results? Or is it still too early to tell?
That's where things get a little mixed.
Okay.
Writing email seems to be the only task with consistently high satisfaction scores.
Huh.
For everything else, it's a bit hit or miss.
So it sounds like AI for PPC is still a work in progress.
It is.
The tools are rapidly evolving, but we're all still figuring out how to use them effectively.
Exactly. And this raises an important question for everyone in the PPC world.
Okay.
What skills will be most valuable in a world where AI is increasingly integrated into our workflows?
Ooh, that's a great question. And I guess we'll have to dive into that in part 2 of this deep dive.
We will.
All right.
It's a question we all need to be thinking about, you know.
Yeah.
It's less about knowing every technical detail
Right.
and more about understanding how to leverage AI's strengths
Yeah.
while being aware of its limitations.
So it's about becoming the conductor,
Yes.
guiding the AI orchestra to produce beautiful marketing music. We're not being replaced. We're leveling up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's step back from the AI frenzy for a moment.
Okay.
And talk about the broader tool landscape.
All right.
Beyond AI, there's a whole ecosystem of software designed to make life easier for PPC professionals.
It's like having a giant toolbox with each tool serving a specific purpose.
Right.
What are some of the must-have tools that PPC pros are relying on these days?
Well, for project management, the old standbys are still going strong.
Okay.
Think Asana Google Sheets, and even trusty old Excel.
Okay.
They're reliable workhorses for keeping campaigns organized and on track.
I can't imagine life without a good spreadsheet. What about reporting and data visualization?
Right.
Those beautiful dashboards we all love.
Looker Studio, which you might remember as Data Studio,
Yeah.
is the clear winner in that category.
Okay.
It's become the go-to for creating insightful reports that actually tell a story with the data.
It's like turning raw data into actionable insights, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of data, what about those tools that help us move data between platforms? The plumbing of the PPC world, so to speak.
Yes. The essential data pipelines or ETL tools.
Right.
Supermetrics is the undisputed champion in that space,
Okay.
making it easy to move data between platforms without pulling your hair out.
A lifesaver for sure. Now, I'm curious about competitive intelligence.
Right.
Everyone loves a little peek behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
What are the go-to tools for keeping tabs on the competition?
SEMrush is the tool of choice for many PPC pros when it comes to spying on the competition, ethically, of course.
Right, of course.
It's like having a secret agent in your corner, gathering intel on your rival strategies.
Knowledge is power, as they say. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about feed management.
All right.
It's a critical but often dreaded aspect of PPC for e-commerce businesses.
It is.
Are there any tools out there that can help tame this beast?
Data Feed Watch and Channable are two popular options
Oh.
that are helping PPC pros manage their product feeds more effectively.
Okay.
But even with the best tools, feed management can still be a major pain point.
It's like the tangled headphones of the PPC world.
It is.
Always a bit of a struggle. But having the right tools definitely helps.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that the ideal tool stack for a PPC professional
Yeah.
will depend heavily on their specific role, client needs, and budget.
Right.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
So it's all about finding the right tools for the job and building a personalized toolkit that empowers you to succeed. This deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening.
It is.
It's clear that PPC is constantly evolving, and staying ahead of the curve is more crucial than ever.
I couldn't agree more. The key takeaway for me is that 2024 is all about embracing efficient growth in PPC.
Okay.
Automation, AI, and evolving measurement strategies are essential for navigating this increasingly complex landscape.
It's like PPC is going through a metamorphosis,
Yeah.
transforming into something even more powerful and dynamic.
Right.
But with great power comes great responsibility.
There it does.
And that brings me to a question that's been swirling in my mind. We talked earlier about social media ad spending, potentially surpassing search.
Right.
If that happens, what does it mean for the future of search engine marketing?
Right.
What skills will be most valuable in a world where consumer attention is shifting away from traditional search?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something every PPC professional should be pondering.
Yeah.
The lines between search and social are definitely blurring,
Yeah.
and consumers are discovering brands and products in a myriad of ways.
It's not enough to just be at the top of the search results anymore.
Right.
You need to be everywhere your audience is.
Exactly.
Engaging with them in a way that feels authentic and relevant.
Exactly. PPC professionals need to think holistically about the entire customer journey,
Yeah.
understanding how to reach their target audience at every touch point.
So it's less about specializing in one platform
Right.
and more about becoming a master of the entire digital marketing ecosystem.
Precisely. That means developing a diverse skill set that encompasses data analysis, creative storytelling, and strategic thinking.
Okay.
You need to be able to understand the nuances of each platform,
Yeah.
but also see how they all fit together to create a seamless brand experience.
It's like being a digital marketing polymath, fluent in the language of all platforms, and adept at weaving together a compelling narrative across the digital landscape.
I love that analogy.
Mm.
And I think we're just starting to scratch the surface of what's possible in this new era of digital marketing.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be in PPC.
I couldn't agree more. It's a field that's ripe with opportunity for those who are willing to embrace change, experiment, and continuously learn.
Absolutely. And speaking of learning, we've only just begun to unpack the insights from this report.
Okay.
There's a whole other layer we haven't even touched on yet. the power of community.
Oh, that's right. The report highlights the growing importance of PPC communities for professionals to connect, share knowledge, and support each other. It's like a secret weapon for staying ahead of the curve and finding your tribe in the vast world of PPC.
It's so true. PPC can feel isolating at times, especially if you're a solo freelancer or part of a small team.
Right.
These communities offer a sense of belonging, a safe space to ask questions, share wins and losses, and learn from each other's experiences.
It's like having a built-in support system cheering you on and offering guidance when you need it most.
Exactly. And the report highlights some of the most popular communities out there,
Okay.
like the RPPC subreddit, the PPC Mastery Discord server, and various PPC chat groups on platforms like Slack and WhatsApp.
It's amazing to see so many different ways to connect with like-minded PPC nerds from around the world, but it's not just about online communities, right?
Right.
In-person events still hold a lot of value, even in this age of virtual everything.
Absolutely. There's something special about connecting with people face-to-face,
Yeah,
sharing ideas and learning from each other's experiences in real time.
it's like a shot of adrenaline for your PPC soul. And the report actually found that many PPC professionals feel there aren't enough in-person events in their region.
That's a common sentiment.
Yeah.
The demand is definitely there, but the supply hasn't quite caught up.
Right.
So if you're an event organizer listening to this, take note.
Yeah.
There's a huge opportunity to create more in-person PPC gatherings and bring the community together in a tangible way.
Well, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today, exploring the trends, the challenges, the tech, and even the community aspect of PPC in 2024.
We have.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. And I think the overarching message is that PPC is no longer a set-it-and-forget-it game.
Right.
It's a dynamic, ever-evolving field that requires a growth mindset, a willingness to experiment, and a passion for continuous learning.
If you're not constantly learning and adapting, you're falling behind.
You are.
So embrace the challenge, experiment with new tools and strategies, and don't be afraid to reach out to your fellow PPC professionals for support and guidance.
Exactly. And remember, the future of PPC is incredibly bright, but it belongs to those who are willing to evolve and innovate.
So go forth and make some PPC magic. And be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world of digital advertising. Until then, happy optimizing.
Happy optimizing.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're on the cusp of a new era in PPC, and this report is like a roadmap guiding us through the uncharted territory.
It is packed with valuable insights that can help us, navigate this ever-changing landscape.
You know, something that really struck me as we were discussing the challenges and complexities of PPC is the sheer volume of tools available.
Right.
It's almost overwhelming.
It's true. The PPC tool landscape is vast and constantly expanding.
Yeah,
It can feel like a jungle out there, especially for those just starting out.
exactly. But the report actually sheds light on a really interesting trend
Yeah.
that I think offers a solution to this tool overload, the rise of curated tool stacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is something we're seeing more and more of. Instead of trying to master every single tool under the sun-savvy PPC, professionals are creating curated tool stacks
Okay.
that are tailored to their specific needs and workflows.
So it's like creating a capsule wardrobe for your PPC toolkit,
Exactly.
choosing only the essential pieces that work best for you.
It's about focusing on quality over quantity,
Yeah.
choosing tools that integrate seamlessly and complement each other. The report actually provides some great examples of curated tool stacks
Okay.
for different PPC roles and budgets.
That's super helpful. I can definitely see how having a curated tool stack would not only streamline your workflow,
Right.
but also reduce that feeling of being overwhelmed by too many options.
Absolutely. It's all about finding the right tools for the job and building a system that empowers you to work smarter, not harder.
I love that. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And speaking of working smarter,
Yeah.
I think there's one final nugget of wisdom from this report that we need to unpack.
Okay.
The importance of continuous learning and experimentation.
Ah, yes, the cornerstones of success in PPC.
Right.
The report really emphasizes that PPC is not a static field.
Right.
It's constantly evolving, which means we need to be constantly learning and adapting.
It's like we're all students in the ever-evolving school of PPC,
I love that.
constantly taking new courses and refining our skills.
And the report highlights some really interesting ways that PPC professionals are staying ahead of the curve.
Oh, okay.
They're attending webinars and conferences, joining online communities, experimenting with new tools and strategies, and even taking online courses to deepen their knowledge.
It's inspiring to see that commitment to growth and development. It's clear that the most successful PPC professionals are those who embrace a lifelong learning mindset.
Absolutely. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being curious, asking questions, and being willing to try new things.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of PPC in 2024, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
I think the biggest message is this. PPC is more dynamic and exciting than ever before. It's a field that rewards those who are adaptable, data-driven, and passionate about continuous learning.
It's not just about clicks and conversions. It's about understanding human behavior, crafting compelling narratives, and using data to drive strategic decisions.
Beautifully said. It's about blending creativity and data to create truly impactful marketing campaigns.
And most importantly, it's about embracing the journey and finding joy in the constant evolution of this amazing field.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the AIPA State of PPC Report 2024. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the rise of AI to the power of community.
We have.
And I hope you've gleaned some valuable insights to help you navigate the exciting world of PPC in the year ahead.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you, and I encourage everyone to delve even deeper into the report to uncover even more gems.
If you're feeling inspired to explore further, you can find all the details and data we discussed today on ppcsurvey.com. Go forth and conquer the digital advertising landscape.
Happy optimizing.
Until next time.